Welcome to today's Explainer. We're looking at something truly extraordinary today. A bizarre, incredibly colorful satellite image captured high above the freezing expanse of Antarctica. Seriously, when you first look at this, your brain immediately zeroes in on a very specific, delicate shape. Emerging from this wild, chaotic swirl of vibrant purples, sharp yellows, and deep blues, there appears to be a giant, perfectly formed hummingbird just sitting in the ice. I mean, you can clearly see a defined belly, a long tail trailing behind it, and what looks exactly like distinct feathers splaying outward. It is a striking, almost alien image that recently made waves as a space photo of the day. But what exactly are we looking at here? How does the harshest, most desolate continent on Earth produce a shape that looks so delicate and tropical?
Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute most obvious question we have to answer right off the bat is, are there hummingbirds in Antarctica? And well, of course, the answer is a definitive no. There are absolutely no tropical, nectar-loving hummingbirds buzzing around the sub-zero skies of the Antarctic continent. So if we aren't looking at a literal bird frozen in the ice, what exactly is this strange shape we're seeing? Like, why does Antarctica suddenly have hummingbird shapes appearing in our satellite data? To actually understand this, we have to look past those vibrant psychedelic colors and focus on the incredible, raw geological forces at work on the ground.
To really make sense of this whole thing, we need to contrast the illusion with the reality. The illusion is what catches our eye first, right? Those bold colors, the sharp lines, that unmistakable avian silhouette that honestly feels like a piece of modern art. But the reality is far more rugged, and if you ask me, infinitely more fascinating. What we are actually looking at is a harsh, freezing mountaintop and a massive flowing glacier located over in East Antarctica. The vivid colors you see aren't actually painted on the snow. They're a digital representation of satellite data mapping out the physical properties of the ice and the rock below. We're looking at a massive geological fingerprint that's basically just disguised as a bird.
So let's break down the anatomy of our bird and translate it back into geology. First up, look at the dark belly of the hummingbird, right at the center of the shape. That dark area is actually the exposed crest of a mountain known as Mount Nunatak-Saturjaf-Shishya. Now look at what appears to be the bird's tail extending backward. That tail is actually a massive stream of ice flowing in a northeast direction, making its long, painfully slow journey all the way out to the ocean. And finally, we have the delicate, splaying feathers radiating outward from the mountaintop. These, as you might have guessed, are not feathers at all, but rather glacial crevasses completely scoring the landscape.
Now, what's really interesting about this is exactly how those feathers form, because it answers our central question of why this shape exists in the first place. A crevasse is a deep crack or fracture in an ice sheet or a glacier. I want you to imagine this massive, impossibly heavy river of ice, the glacier, just flowing down and around the solid rock of Mount Nunatak-Saturjaf-Shishya. As this icy current violently grinds against the mountain's surface on its way to the ocean, the immense friction and pressure cause the rigid ice to fracture and splinter. These deep, outward-splaying cracks are the crevasses. From way up in space, these intense geological battle scars look remarkably like the delicate splayed feathers of a hummingbird's wing. It's essentially a beautiful illusion born from sheer, crushing physical force.
Section 1. The Eye in the Sky. Unveiling the Technology.
The eye in the sky responsible for this image is an incredibly advanced instrument called NISAR. That stands for NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar. You know, this isn't just a standard camera snapping photos from space. It is a groundbreaking collaborative satellite mission between NASA and ISRO, which is the Indian Space Research Organization. By joining forces, these two premier space agencies have created a tool that doesn't just look at the Earth, it actively probes it using synthetic aperture radar. And this is exactly what allows us to see the landscape in a completely new, incredibly colorful way.
To give you a sense of just how powerful this tool really is, listen to how the director of NASA's Earth Science Division described it during a pre-launch briefing last year. They called NISAR, and I quote, "the most sophisticated radar we've ever built." That is a massive statement. We are talking about a technological leap that bounces complex radar signals off the Earth's surface, reading the minute differences in texture, density, and movement, and then returning data that paints these incredible alien-looking pictures of our planet. It's this extreme sophistication that turns a seemingly barren frozen wasteland into a vibrant canvas.
Section 2. Beneath the Surface. Why this data matters.
As fascinating as the technology is, we have to ask the big question. Why does this matter? Well, Song-Soo Jung, a signal analysis engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, who actually produced this hummingbird image, explains it perfectly. He said, quote, "Because radar can often see through snow and deep into the ice. With NISAR, we're seeing what's hidden beneath the surface. This is the absolute key takeaway here. Traditional optical imagery, like a regular photograph, can only show us the top layer of blinding white snow. But NISAR's radar actually penetrates that snow. It observes fundamentally different properties of the Antarctic ice. It reveals the rich details of those hidden crevasses, showing scientists exactly how the glacier is moving and fracturing in real time. The strange beauty of the shapes and colors gives us incredibly vital information about ice flow in a rapidly changing climate.
And here is where this gets even more exciting. On July 20, 2026, public access was unlocked. The mission teams began making the data from NISAR's radar instruments fully public. Moving forward, this data will be continuously rolled out. That means researchers, scientists, and even curious citizens everywhere can use this state-of-the-art information to study glacier movements and help protect our ever-changing planet. It's a massive win for global scientific collaboration.
So we started with the beautiful, puzzling optical illusion of a hummingbird, and we uncovered a powerful story about glacial mechanics, international space collaboration, and unprecedented radar technology. It leaves us with a truly compelling question to end on. What other hidden secrets are waiting to be uncovered beneath the ice? I mean, if the very first glimpses of this data can reveal such intricate, beautiful, and vital information about our planet, just imagine what we will find as researchers dive deeper into the NISAR archives. The mysteries of our changing world are just beginning to surface, and thanks to this technology, we now finally have the vision to see them.